Pueblo, pueblo, people, my people, sing your song, canta tu canción, pueblo mío, oh, oh, pueblo, pueblo, no hay muro que detenga tus ganas de amar. Canta tu canción. Yeah, yeah. Oh, 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 oh. Sigues cruzando las fronteras y los valles, los desiertos, los ríos, cerros y canales. Solo tú sabes lo que has tenido que sufrir y así persistes construyendo un porvenir. Oh, oh, oh. Pueblo, pueblo, people, my people, sing your song. Canta tu canción. Te veo vendiendo naranjas y sandía debajo de los freeways, puentes, día a día, sembrando flores, cosechando amores, haciendo vida por donde quiera que vas. Oh, 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 pueblo, pueblo, porque no hay muro que detenga tus ganas de amar. Canta tu canción. Oh, 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 oh. Pueblo mío, pueblo, pueblo, tú y yo, tú y yo. Canta tu canción.
Thank you very much, Francisco Herrera.
You're welcome.
Guest for today. He is a musician, as you can tell, and he's also a community educator. Now, for those of you that have been keeping up with our Paula Fiscal show series, you may recognize Francisco from last month. Although this is a timeless show, as we like to say, these shows can run at any time. And he was a candidate for mayor in San Francisco in the 2015 general election. And he was, according to the ranked choice program that we have in San Francisco, he is the runner-up. And so we welcome him, and we're going to talk today a bit about the criminal justice system. So welcome to the show. The Paula Fiscal Show airs on Sundays at 3 o'clock p.m., and we also upload the shows to YouTube. And the handle, the Twitter handle I like to use is Paula Fiscal TV, so that you can use your Twitter accounts and log in and send us messages. And use the hashtag SF Commons, because in fact this is one of the SF Commons shows. So once again, we want to welcome Francisco Herrera, and we're going to go right into the talk about the criminal justice system right after he tells us the name of his song and what he was singing about.
Thank you very much, Paula. I'm very happy to be here with you all. The name of the song is Pueblo Pueblo. It's part of the last CD that I would encourage everyone to download at www.franciscoherreramusic.com. Francisco Herrera, Herrera, like Equal Rights Amendment, music.com. franciscoherreramusic.com. And Pueblo Pueblo is about our community being able to raise their voice. Our community, I mean humanity. And when I say our community, us people. One of the first things that goes away in any situation of oppression, whether it be domestic violence, whether it be adults abusing of children, whether it be governments imposing their domination upon other governments or other communities, other citizens, first thing that goes away is the voice. And when you're in a situation of oppression, you tend to not be able to use your voice. And if you use it, it's not heard. And so in this song, the Pueblo Pueblo, canta tu canción, people, my people, sing your song. Pete Seeger did a lot of this, Woody Guthrie, Joe Hill, and other great cultural workers did this, got Víctor Jara in Chile, got people to be able to express themselves. So that's the core of this song, saying we, the people, have gone through a lot, and here we still are. Here we are, still standing, still going strong, still making a difference, which really is funny because that was part of our campaign for mayor in San Francisco, is to ignite that sense. It was to win, but it was really to ignite that sense of we have a voice in this situation. Our life is at stake here, and so we have to exercise our voice to be able to make change. And singing is a great way to exercise your voice.
Yes, singing has always been in our cultura, and we have had many, many strong voices that have come out with the music and also among all of our community activities and within our history. And in your situation, I understand that you had done a lot of community educating in Guatemala and Central America. Can you share with our viewers some of the activities that you participated in there?
Sure. Yeah, that was part of my formation, really, as a Chicano, growing up at the border, where that divides California and Baja California. I'm from a little town called Calexico, and or city. My Calexican friends would say, "What do you mean a little town?"
How many people? How many people?
Well, at this point, it's 30,000, but in my time, it was like 12,000. Come on. But on the Mexican side is 1.5 million people. It's the capital city of Baja California Norte. Right. So you got 1.5 million people. And on our side, it's Calexico, it's Brole. We have famous baseball player with the Giants from Brole, right? Mr. Romo. And
Sergio, our pitcher.
Yeah. And so a great leader in our community, Jose Padilla, lead director of CRLA, also from Brole, and other folks from Calexico. Anyway, the point being that in that area, everything is Mexicano. In my formation, I decided to go to Central America, to El Salvador, and specifically from 1980, 81 through today, I've been working with survivors of war, survivors of torture, and communities organizing to be free, right? And it was very powerful because it's the same communities, different language, different context, but working people organizing as we're doing here.
And how did you get started in this type of work? Did you get up one day and say, "Okay, I'm headed for Guatemala"?
No, it was a slow process in that sense. I worked in Logan Heights in San Diego, Southeast San Diego, in late 1980, 81, the first anniversary of Archbishop Romero, where he had been murdered by our tax dollars, by the Salvadoran government in cahoots with the with the U.S. government, which was really a terrible. These oligarchs in the United States have made the United States be like the number one violent problem in the world. You know, like the drunk uncle that comes into the room and destroys the lampshade in the living
Well,
room.
we are going to cover some of the issues in criminal justice, but we want to focus in
Yeah.
on San Francisco.
Yeah.
So
And
even
so-
though it's important to discuss the international politics,
Yeah.
we want to
No,
bring
yeah,
it home.
very much.
We want to bring it home.
So what made me do that, made that shift, was really looking at what was going on in Central America with our tax dollars that could have been used here for school, for housing, for streets, and it was being spent. So I spent a lot of time taking delegations back and forth through and working in refugee camps in El Salvador.
Now, was there an organization that you
Yeah, I
worked with
worked
here, or
several. One
was
called
it church?
Jesuit Refugee Services.
There
One
you
was
go.
through the like St. Ignatius High School here and USF. Another one, Share Foundation, that's also based here in San Francisco. The Share Foundation does great work of linking people in the U.S. and other parts with people in Central America that are working on proactive projects. Another was the CISPES, that's also based in San Francisco, that was doing a lot of work with communities there as well, and here in San Francisco.
So that's the way if one wanted to get involved in San Francisco.
Yes,
to
very
get
much
started.
so. Yeah, very much so. There's Causa Justa, who does the work on housing. You know, there's the Homefulness Project of the Poor Magazine. It's a wonderful project, Poor Magazine, that really has given voice to working people who otherwise would not be heard. You know, Poor Magazine is a very good one. The Living Wage Coalition I work very closely with. As a matter of fact, in selling our CD, Honor Migrante, $5 of that sale goes to the Living Wage Coalition. Because
is that right?
That's a crucial organization, a crucial effort for us to be able to have a living, make a living. So.
Wonderful, wonderful. So just to remind our viewers that if you're interested in getting the CD, you can also, if you hashtag Paula Fiscal TV and reach out to your own followers, and I see this on my Twitter account, I will make sure that you get a complimentary copy of this CD.
Thank you very much.
Sure. And so when you began to do the work in Central America, what year was it that you came back to San Francisco?
89, right before the earthquake. 88. 88, and at that time we had already established in Oakland a project called Oakland Catholic Worker that was giving shelter and helping. But I started doing the work here, and then we experienced the earthquake of 1989, and I started working with Catholic Charities then. It was very interesting because the earthquake produced in many people this experience of war and torture, survivors from different countries around the world. So we developed two very interesting projects. One was not with Catholic Charities, but a beautiful project called a Coalition to Aid Survivors of War and Torture, where we were training folks to be able to peer consult with each other, not therapy, but just in the language to be able to listen actively, to be able to refer other people that were having maybe shock and trauma, post-traumatic stress disorder, that kind of stuff. We went door to door in many of these neighborhoods, talking with people. How did you experience the earthquake? What happened? Very interesting. This is a little side detail, but it has a lot to do with very interesting happened. Parents who were able to guide their kids to not get nervous in the earthquake of 1989, their kids did not experience trauma. And the parents who got very nervous, their kids experienced trauma. Very interesting detail, isn't it?
So, in other words, the kids would emulate what the parents were going through.
Yeah.
So if the parents were calm and decisive, so were the children.
Yes. And they did not have the symptoms of nervousness, not being able to sleep, peeing in their bed, or that kind of stuff. All did not appear with children who were with their parents or with an adult who was calm, secure, and were okay. And with the kids that were, whose parents were all nervous, or the adults, the kids experience all
So we're talking about
healing.
trauma and how to deal with trauma,
Yeah.
and what kind of activities one would recommend to heal, like
Yeah.
you said.
Yeah, healing really is the core, and it's the focus. And it's so interesting that we'll be talking about the criminal justice system because really healing, what we discovered in this work, is that it's not so much of the counseling type where you talk things through. That's important. It's good. It's got its value. But healing from trauma and these kinds of things is very physical. It's somatic, as they say, right? Somatic. So it has to do with the physical. So it involves drumming. It involves dance. It involves engagement that articulates through the body. And so it was very interesting learning in this process of formation, this work of healing, through music, through the different forms, but very, very informative. And to bring it in today's structure of injustice that we experience, that's precisely why it's so damaging when authority, whether it be police or sheriffs, with anyone in a place of authority, to abuse that authority is profoundly traumatic, not just on the people but that are directly involved, but on the entire community. I remember in 1987, we were doing a peaceful protest at Fort
Fort Mason?
No, Clyde, in Clyde, California, here by Concord, the Concord Naval Weapons Station. And I was doing my guitar, playing this, and the train decided to run over the demonstrators. Brian Wilson was a Vietnam veteran, Air Force Vietnam veteran, Duncan Murphy, David Duncombe, these three veterans.
So what is the next step then? Do you think that there are other avenues to take, a class action suit or a new committee?
I have a cousin who was murdered 9 inches to his head by an officer in another city in Southern California. And we went through support from different unions. We actually went to, it was Bill Lockyer at that time.
Right.
And who is now Kamala,
the Attorney General.
The Attorney General, who now is Kamala
California.
Harris. And we were successful in getting my aunt, she's actually my cousin, but that's a different story of ages. She's 80, right? We were actually able to get my aunt as a mother to talk to a father, in this case, Bill Lockyer, who has children. And when we did that and it switched over, she all of a sudden became an unknown mother of a murdered son to a victim of violent crime.
Right.
And so we were able to get all kinds of government services. And the officer did do 7 years in prison.
So then are you suggesting that government services would help heal the community?
That's part of it. It sure helped in our situation, but it's definitely part of it. The key being a tragedy and a travesty of justice has happened by the very people who are supposed to protect justice, right? The fox guarding the hen house. So therefore, it doesn't work to just stay in San Francisco. We have to go to the state or to the federal and say, the supposed leaders here are not doing the job. We've hired them. We've asked them to leave. They're not leaving. They're holding us hostage with their power. And so What about
the influence of the grand jury?
Yeah, well, those grand juries are another circus. I mean, they're a great theory. Grand juries are a great theory. In practice, what have we seen? Nothing but support for officers who are, at the very least, are traumatized enough to just shoot people who are unarmed. I mean, and so these guys really should be dealing with their own mental health. It's such high, these officers, police officers, have super high levels of domestic violence, of killing their spouses, of abuse of drugs and alcohol. Obviously, something's going on in the practice of safety and security that needs to be reviewed, and that needs to be accompanied a lot more by social work, mental health work, and that kind of support.
Do you have time to do another song for us?
I sure do.
And so we will close with that. Once again, we want to thank you for joining us. The Paula Fiscal Show airs on Sundays at 3 o'clock p.m. You can also contact us at paulafiscalshow@gmail.com. I also want to do a shout out to my sponsor, Rosalie at Gypsy Rosalie's, and to Pat Lakey, my partner, who does the editing and the post-production for this show. And I want to thank Francisco Herrera, who is going to play another song for us. And once again, thank you so much for watching, and remember to tweet. If I catch your tweet, you will indeed be able to get a free CD of Francisco Herrera's latest and greatest CD.
And remember, healing is an active action, and that's why I have this song. It's the people who make the difference. Hacemos un hermoso jardín. And it's the friendships made in the struggle. Son razones pa' vivir. Son razones pa' vivir. As they sat down to dinner with a glass of wine, talking about the evening news, watching all the people marching in the street. They said the city's about to blow a fuse. I'm just so tired of sitting around. There's something that I got to do, 'cause watching and talking just ain't enough, and the change is so long overdue. It's the people who make the difference. Hacemos un hermoso jardín. And it's the friendships made in the struggle. Son razones pa' vivir. Son razones pa' vivir. A smile came upon her face as she picked up the picket sign. It's been ages since she felt this way. They said, what a way to spend your time. Moving and grooving with the beat of the chance. Traffic zooming all around. It makes her strong to take a stand with these new friends she has found. And it's the people who make the difference. Hacemos un hermoso jardín. And it's the friendships made in the struggle. Son razones pa' vivir. Las razones pa' vivir. Las razones pa' vivir.